Democrat officials are getting wrecked over their roles in COVID nursing home deaths as a California recall effort to get rid of Gavin Newsom hits 2 million signatures. In this video, we're going to take a look at the number of Democrat governors and officials who are coming under enormous scrutiny for their policies that led to the deaths of tens of thousands of nursing home patients, how the petition effort to recall Gavin Newsom has just surpassed a major milestone, and how pundits are noticing that President Trump has effectively wrecked a number of Democrat officials simply by allowing them to run things as Democrats see fit. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every single day conservative hope in the midst of these trying and turbulent times, helping to think better so you can feel better and provide for you a patriot path to freedom. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's our good friends over at Noble Gold. Silver and gold, gang. When times are tumultuous and turbulent, you can't beat them. And there's frankly never been a better time to start a gold or silver IRA in your portfolio. And the amazing staff over at Noble Gold are ready to help you in any way that they can. And if that's not incentive enough, Noble Gold is gifting a genuine rare Carson City Minted Morgan silver dollar with every qualifying IRA or 401k. It's absolutely beautiful. So do not wait. Click on that link below or visit their website at noblegoldinvestments.com or give them a call at 877-646-5347. Make sure to mention my name, Dr. Steve Turley, and let's ride that gold wave together. All right, okay, let's dive right in here. It looks like the jig is up for a number of Democratic governors who thus far have been hiding in the shadow of Governor Cuomo's scandals. Just the News is reporting that multiple Democratic officials are indeed facing increasing political pressure due to their policies that sent COVID-positive patients into nursing homes, resulting in high deaths among vulnerable populations and care facilities. Now, of course, chief among those politicians is the New York Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's under fire not only for imposing such a policy on New York State last year, but also for his administration's subsequent cover-up of the true number of COVID deaths among elderly New Yorkers. You recall that the Cuomo administration claimed that there were just, around 9,000 or so COVID-related deaths in nursing homes at the end of January, but a full accounting of the state's care facility death toll since then has brought the number up to over 15,000. Some of Cuomo's aides have testified that they were pressured to hide the actual numbers. So this is good to know, and that is the media has been at least somewhat fixated on Cuomo playing Pepe Le Pew and trying to sneak a kiss with his aides. I'm sure you heard about there's a sixth allegation now involving Cuomo trying to sneak a kiss with one of his aides at the governor's mansion. But regardless of that, the media does continue to keep its eye on the nursing home deaths, and not just with Cuomo. The media is now starting to put the spotlight on Michigan Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer, whose administration last year also directed nursing homes to accommodate patients who were positive they were infected with COVID-19. A prosecutor in Michigan suggested that Governor Gretchen Whitmer could indeed face criminal charges over handling of deaths at nursing homes in the early days of the coronavirus pandemic, as the state attorney general has launched a probe into the fatalities. In Michigan, the governor's policy was similar to that of Cuomo's in New York. The COVID-positive patients were to remain at their respective nursing homes regardless of whether they still tested positive or not. And so a number of Michigan state senators have formally requested the Justice Department investigate the state's nursing home policy and its effect on elderly COVID deaths. And so we could see that Whitmer now is a target in these COVID probes, just like Cuomo. And it don't stop with Whitmer. Again, as reported by Just the News, according to the COVID Tracking Project, the states with the three highest totals of nursing home deaths, California, New York, and Pennsylvania, all of them implemented versions of the same policy. And so now we're seeing another Democratic official facing scrutiny, and that's none other than Rachel Levine, the former Secretary of Pennsylvania Department of Health and currently President Joe Biden's pick for Assistant Health Secretary. Levine, who's obviously transgender, ended up generating controversy last year when Levine and Levine's sister moved their mother out of a care facility into a hotel even as the state was directing nursing homes to accept COVID-positive residents. Isn't that nice? Isn't that just convenient? Don't you just love how the permanent political class gets privileges for themselves that they deliberately deny to the rest of us? Isn't that wonderful? So it's a little wonder that following Biden's pick of Levine, Pennsylvania Representative Sean Parnell absolutely scorched the nomination, claiming thousands died because of the Pennsylvania policy, and that Levine should obviously not be getting a promotion into the federal government at this point. And while that's going on in Pennsylvania, representatives in Congress are calling for an investigation into the state's nursing home policy, implicating both the Democratic Governor Tom Wolf as well as this Rachel Levine, who Biden thought for some reason deserved a promotion. You know, a colleague of mine pointed out that Glenn Reynolds of Instapundit really said it best. Back in May, this is what he wrote: Trump's wrecking a whole generation of Democratic governors who might otherwise have been presidential or vice presidential timber simply by letting them run things as they see fit. What a perfect observation. Trump's wrecking a whole generation of Democratic governors who might otherwise have been presidential or vice presidential timber simply by letting them run things as they see fit. And as Democratic governors run things as they see fit, even Democrat populations are beginning to turn on them. And nowhere is this more evident than what's happening right now in California. Now, before we get into that, look, if you're looking for an encouraging and hopeful alternative to all the fake news nonsense that's being spewed out there on a daily basis from the leftist likes of CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times, you are going to find no better antidote than what's in the pages of my book, The Return of Christendom. Do not take my word for it. Just read through the reviews on Amazon. There's over 260 of them. And you see how this book cuts through all the cynicism and despair that we so often feel living in this crazy globalist leftist world. In page after page, I give you all the data, all the stats and indicators that show nothing less than a new conservative Christian majority emerging throughout the United States and Europe. And that emerging majority is already transforming the world into a more nationalist, populist, and traditionalist world. And if you click on the link below, right now, we're offering it for a limited time at a 50% discount. That's right, 50% off. So do not wait. This is a limited time offer. Click on that link and get your book at a super cool discount today and arm yourself with the information you need to crush fake news once and for all. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on in the gruesome Newsom recall effort in California. It's now been announced by organizers that the recall effort has indeed surpassed their goal of amassing over 2 million signatures. Now, this 2 million goal was to offset the potential 25% rejection rate of signatures by virtue of vetting processes. The goal was to get the 2 million signatures by March 17th, which is the deadline to turn in the signatures in order to force a recall petition vote. And so obviously, they not only amassed the 2 million, but they did so with a week to spare. So it's pretty impressive stuff. In the process, Newsom continues to humiliate himself. Now, just the other week, when Texas announced that they were lifting all COVID-related restrictions, Newsom actually came out and excoriated Texas Governor Abbott, calling Texas absolutely reckless for lifting the COVID rules. Now, that took some real chutzpah on the part of Newsom, given not only that he's presiding over the single worst case of COVID mismanagement in the entire nation, but he had absolutely nothing to say about the fact that during the same week, we found out over 100 illegal immigrants who tested positive for the coronavirus had been released by the Border Patrol into Texas because of Biden's pathetic catch and release program. So in the world, the leftist world of Gavin Newsom, whenever Texas does anything to alleviate COVID restrictions with regard to their own citizens, well, that's worthy of disdain and disgust. But whenever Biden and the Democrats alleviate COVID concerns, when it comes to illegal immigrants, there's nothing to see there. That's just fine. I mean, it reminds me of what President Trump said at CPAC. It was one of his best lines. Your family can still not go out to eat at local restaurants, but Joe Biden is bringing in thousands upon thousands of refugees from all over the world. People no one knows anything about it. You can't go to school, but hey, all these refugees can come into the nation. I mean, Newsom's absolutely ridiculous. I certainly hope he gets recalled. The irony of Newsom's selected COVID concern wasn't lost on Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who hit back at gruesome Newsom, telling Maria Bartiromo, quote, "I will say there is a reason Gavin Newsom is unhappy, because every year we see thousands and thousands of Californians fleeing California and coming to Texas. And the fact that we're open for business and they're shut down is only going to accelerate that phenomenon. There's a reason the guy is facing a recall in California, and it's because his policies were too disastrous for the liberal Democratic voters in California, because shut down the state, he's destroyed jobs, and he is hurting kids." Amen to that. And of course, this is not to mention how Newsom himself blatantly violated his own COVID restrictions when he attended a birthday party at a restaurant that was clearly held indoors, that was clearly involved no masks, and it went far beyond the gathering limit of 3 households together at a single time. It was a political disaster, of course, and it's pretty clear that Newsom is getting very nervous here, and he appears to be doing whatever he could possibly do so that he doesn't go down like Governor Gray Davis went down, what was almost 20 years ago. That was the last successful gubernatorial recall effort in California, and they may be ready to do it again. So, of course, we're going to be keeping our eyes on how things develop with all these Democratic officials, and all of whom are beginning to get absolutely wrecked here for simply running things as they saw fit. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And definitely check out some of our cool merch here at the link below. And you definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how Joe Biden's gaffes get increasingly embarrassing as his poll numbers are simply imploding. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.